last time, this is so we were in the middle of this example. I really want to go through it really again because we didn't finish it. Okay. All right. So here we have a polynomial, right? F of x, and we're dividing it by x squared plus 4. Okay. And what we want to do, remember, is we want to use long division, polynomial long division. Okay. That's what we're going to use. And so this is our f of x, right? Remember, if you're missing any terms, you want to use 0 as a placeholder. Okay, that's what you want to do. So for instance here, x to the 5th, this is a degree 5 polynomial. We're missing the x to the 4 term, so we're going to use 0 as a placeholder, 0x to the 4. Likewise, we're missing x squared term, so 0x squared we're going to use as a placeholder, right? F of x is our dividend. Our divisor, x squared plus 4, we're missing the x term. So what do? We use 0x as a placeholder, okay? It's really there just to keep everything vertically aligned when we're dividing. So here we have long division, right? Again, we're dividing f of x, right, by x squared plus 0x plus 4. So the x squared plus 0x plus 4 goes here. This here goes in here, right? Our dividend, as it's called. And remember, when you divide, you want to divide the leading term. You want to divide leading term. So the leading term of the dividend by the leading term of the divisor. Okay, that's what we do. So we have x to the 5th over x squared. This is x cubed. Okay, that's what we get here, x cubed. So that goes here. And we put that over its like term in the dividend, right? So we divide leading terms. We have x cubed, as you can see. And that goes over the 8x cubed term. And what goes down here, well, where did I get this from? I multiply. You know, just like long division of numbers, right? I multiply. So x cubed times this, right? We multiply and we get x cubed times x squared, that's x to the 5th. X cubed times 0x is 0x to the 4th. X cubed times 4 is 4x cubed. We're subtracting that. You know, again, it's just like long number division, right? We're subtracting that, okay? And then, okay, we have to subtract, so we distribute that minus sign. That's what I'm doing down here, as you can see. Okay, I did email the notes, so you should have it. So we distribute the negative sign, and what happens then? Well, basically, the x to the 5th goes away. 0x to the 4th, I guess in a sense, was really never there, but was subtracting itself from it, so that's gone. 8x cubed minus 4x cubed, as you can see, that gives us 4x cubed again. So now what happens? So we get 4x cubed. We bring down the next term, as you can see. Even though it's a 0x squared, we bring it down. Okay. And now we do the same thing, right? And how do I know that we keep going? The degree of this here, the difference, has degree greater than or equal to the degree of the divisor. Once the difference has degree less than the degree of the divisor, or if the difference is 0, that's when you stop. So in other words, if the difference has degree 1 or 0 or equals 0, or if the difference is 0, that's when we stop. So we have degree 3 here. So we do the process again. We divide leading terms, as you can see, right? 4x, this is our new dividend, so to say. So we have 4x cubed divided by x squared, and that gives us 4x. So the 4x we put over its like term. I put 0x squared in here as a placeholder so I don't get confused. That's what I did. Okay. Now 4x you have to subtract. excuse me, 4x you have to multiply by the divisor. Only 4x, okay? So we have 4x times this, which is 4x times x squared. That's 4x cubed. 4x times 0x is 0x squared. 4x times 4 is 16x. And we're subtracting that. Okay, we're subtracting it. So when we subtract, right, these cancel. 0x squared and 0x squared cancels as well. I mean, they're both 0 anyway. We have minus 16x as well. And here we actually do have to stop because the degree of this is 1, which is less than the degree of the divisor. We still had some extra terms here, though. What you want to do is bring those down, okay, so they're part of this difference. And then, of course, you combine like terms. So the remainder is not quite negative 16x. It's actually this whole thing. When you combine like terms, of course, you get negative 22x plus 9. So what's our quotient? This is our quotient up here. And down here is our remainder. Remainder. Okay? So that's what we get here. So, and also by the division algorithm, you can rewrite the dividend, the original, f of x, which is what this is, as the divisor times the quotient plus the remainder. And I actually use this to make sure my calculations were right. That I got the right that I got the correct remainder and quotient, that kind of thing. In other words, this equality does actually hold. All right. I know this was a little bit different because usually we run out of terms here, but in this case we did not. So we just had to bring those extra terms down. Okay. Now, are there any questions on this one? I figured it wouldn't hurt to do another one after this. Well, let's do another one then, okay? Here we go. Okay, so for this one, right? This is our new we're going to take this polynomial and divide it by x squared plus x plus 1. So we're taking this polynomial and we're dividing it by this one. So this is basically our dividend, as you can see, right? And we're dividing it by this. So this is our divisor. So dividend is over here, divisor. Notice we're not missing any terms, so we don't have to put in 0 as a placeholder. I put the arrows in here to indicate the directions, so hopefully that's helping. So here again, we divide leading terms. So that's what this is, 3x to the 4 divided by x squared, okay? And that, of course, is just 3x squared. Okay, now what do we do with the 3x squared? We put it over its like term in the, in the dividend. So in other words, 3x squared is going to go over 5x squared, as you can see, because these are like terms. Okay, that's great. So what happens next is we multiply and we subtract the product. Just like long division, just like real number long division. So we have 3x squared times this, which is 3x to the 4. 3x squared times x is 3x cubed. 3x squared times 1 is 3x squared. And we subtract the product. And when we subtract, we distribute the negative sign. That's where this came in. And when you do that, what happens? The x to the 4 goes bye-bye, essentially because the difference is just 0x to the 4. minus 7x cubed minus 3x cubed, that's minus 10x cubed. 5x squared minus 3x squared, that's 2x squared. Okay, and then we bring down the next term. That's what the x is here. And then we repeat the process. And why do we repeat it? The degree of the difference is bigger than the degree of the dividend. Remember, if this difference has degree equal to or bigger than the degree of the divisor, you keep going, you repeat the process. Or, okay, good. So now we repeat it, so we have negative 10x cubed over x squared, as we can see. And that's negative 10x. Okay? And so that goes over the x term. We multiply minus 10x times this, right? And then the product goes down here. The product, excuse me, goes below this. That's what this is. Right? We have minus 10x times x squared, that's minus 10x cubed, minus 10x times x, minus 10x squared, minus 10x times 1 is minus 10x, as you can see. Okay. Okay, so that's what we have here. Then, again, we're subtracting, so we distribute the negative sign. That's how we got this. I put a plus out here just, because minus minus is plus. And then you combine, right? So minus 10x cubed and 10x cubed, you get 0. I mean, I didn't write 0x cubed here, but that's okay. 2x squared, 10x squared is 12x squared. X and 10x, that's 11x. Bring down to minus 2. Okay. Now, we're not quite done yet, right? Because the degree of the difference equals the degree of the divisor. We don't want that. It has to be less, or the difference has to be 0. So we repeat the process. But now we're going to have 12x. So this is our new dividend, so to say. So here we have 12x squared divided by x squared, right? Dividing leading terms, we get 12. Where does this 12 go? We put it over its like term, which is the constant term. We multiply, and subtract the product. So when you multiply, you're going to get this, 12x squared, 12x plus 12. And we subtract that. Right? And when you subtract, let me go back here, right? The negative sign you have to distribute. When you subtract, you distribute the negative sign. And then, of course, you combine them. So these cancel. 11x minus 12x is minus x. Minus 2 minus 12 is minus 14. Here we stop. The degree of this is 1, less than the degree of this. So we stop. And we get this. So the quotient we get is up here, 3x squared minus 10x plus 12. And here's our remainder, minus x minus 14. Okay. Are there any questions on that?